Alright, this time let's set up a kind of an event of things to actually happen here. I'm going to make uh, the first platform we'll set up and make all the parts and pieces work, and then we'll carry it through for the rest of them. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to make a set of blocks that go out, and when you trigger the first one, we'll have it where it just kind of moves all down like a set of stairs for the player to walk down. So in order to make that happen, let's start with it going from here. So the move to end, we'll go ahead and turn off the disable after end. We want to make sure that it goes down but it stays for us. The move end of time, we'll go ahead and just say 20 for now. The delay we'll leave for that one as default. So move to start, we actually want to say none. We don't want it to move back up to start. We go to the reset options. We don't want it to actually reset, so we'll leave those off. We can turn this one down to 0 just because. The flashing, we'll go ahead and disable flashing. We actually don't want the flashing to be used, and we don't need the disable flashing. We don't want it to make to feel like the user needs to jump or anything. This is just more of like an elevator type ride for it. Alright, and then the mover, the initial mover, we'll do it 10, and then we'll just increment each one 20, 30, 40, and then just have it drop down that way. So then the last part here, be sure that your collider on at end is checked. Alright, and let's double check our setup for it. If we like it, then we'll just use this one and make some copies of it here. Okay. So it'll get down and then it'll just simply stop right there. So this is, behavior-wise, this is what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to use the eyedropper tool, and we'll click on the platform here. And what should have happened by default is it turned your brush on, and the eyedropper tool is green, which means it's loaded with the platform. So I'm just going to go across here and put a couple of these. Alright, so if we do something like this, we can say this will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way down. Or we could have it go down and then start to come back up if we'd like. So let's go ahead and click on our selection tool. We'll start with the first one. We're just going to go to the mover. And with the mover on this one, we'll just take it down to 20 on this part. And then just continue going to the next one and next one. We'll set this one down to 30. And then once we get down to 30, we'll go one more deep. We'll go with the next one at 40, and then we'll level off with that. Alright. Actually, we could do this one at 30 so you could see it kind of creating more of a shape with it. So we'll say 30 on there, and 20 on the next one. And 10 on the last one. Alright, so now if we were to do it just how it is, we'll notice that we actually have to trigger all of them in order to make something happen. And we'll go ahead and show you how that looks, and then we'll go for the next one. So if the player was to run across all of them, it would trigger them and it would do the pattern that we're looking for right there. But if you didn't want to have to run across all of them, you just simply wanted to know that you could touch any one of them to trigger the event, or more specifically touch the first one. What we can do is go to the first one here, and we're going to click on the trigger brush for the platform. I'm just going to place it on each one of these. So by default, this automatically is looking for the trigger event to occur. So if the first one happens, then the rest of them will follow suit and start working with it. So if I hit that one, then all of a sudden you have them all going at the same time. There you go. So kind of a fun little system to create some bridge type pieces or some movements that work together. Alright, and then the same thing for this one. We'll set this one up on this side just so you can see it here. actually might not be able to make it that far, so we'll go from about there. This one has the same type of properties, except the difference with it is that on the trigger on this part, it's going to start with the collider off, so it requires at least one collider to be touched, and then at the end state it'll turn it on. And then on the end state for this one, when it moves back, it's the end state here. It has a move time to go back, but when it gets to the reset, it's going to reset the platform to start, and the reset platform to start is actually turned off, so the collider will turn back off on it. Alright, so with that said, let's go ahead and put some blocks under here in case we miss our jump. And let's find our camera. Okay, and then if we want these to all react the same way these do, then we'll put the brush on here and drop it on there like that. Okay, so last example part with it here. This is kind of a longer video, but this will wrap up all the platform possibilities. So again, if I trigger it once this way, we get those going down. If I trigger this one, they're going to go to the point where they're solid, which allows me to run across them real fast. Now if I was to trigger it again, notice I triggered this one by itself, but I have to actually trigger this one to make all of them work. Oh, there we go. Now if I trigger it this way and then I'm stuck inside of here, I can jump out of there and re-trigger that one. And, oh. So there you go. Some different ways to do this and be able to set up different scenarios with the platform pieces.